seems like things are about to get crazier from here on out. What is up, y'all? For today's video, I'm gonna be reacting to an episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. So it seems like now it's finally like current timeline of JJK, you know, we're finally done with the pre-sequel and now everything is just, you know, current timeline for Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'm very excited to see how this next episode goes. But before I get started with the reaction, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this. And if you subscribe to my channel, it helps me a whole lot because I definitely need the help. I need more help than Nami did when she asked the Straw Hats to help her and her village get rid of Arlong. So let's jump right in and see what Jujutsu Kaisen has in store for us. It feels so weird that we're finally getting to see them like after what, like 5 episodes, because 5 episodes ago was just like, it was kind of like a prelude to season 2. So it feels nice seeing them again, but it kind of feels weird that we finally get to see them. So is that like their kind of version of, okay, never mind. For some reason, I was gonna say, is this their version of like Human Centipede or something? I'm confused. So is this a horror movie or is it like a romance or like a rom-com type of thing? They end up having kids? Okay, I don't get it. I don't get it. At first it looked like it was gonna be a horror movie, and then it went to kind of like romance, and then back to horror with all those like little human earthworms. Okay, you know, Yuji has an interesting taste when it comes to movies. I'm not gonna judge him. I won't judge him on that. Wait, isn't that? Hold on. Isn't that Nobara's, like, am I thinking of this? No, I think I might be thinking of this a different girl. I don't know why instantly when I saw her, like, I imagine like this was the girl from like Nobara's like backstory. Oh yeah, finally coming back to like where season 1 ended, where Toto and Mei were just like talking about like, you know, promoting some of the sorcerers and his best friend Yuji Itadori. Yeah, that's I almost forgot that's where season 1 legitimately ended, where they were getting recommended for promotion. I think they all will end up becoming first grade sorcerers. Come on, like, you gotta admit, like they're all like capable of potentially being some pretty decent first grade sorcerers. So like, I'm sure, yeah, I think all of them would pass because I don't see any one of them like not ended up becoming a first grade. Wow, I'm surprised he didn't go for like, you know, a harder first attack on that serve. Damn, the spin on that. Okay, this ping pong match kind of intense. Honestly, that would be insane though. Having Toto and Yuji being on missions together, that would absolutely be insane. Because we've already seen what they can do together going against, what was it? Hana? Something like that. One of Gato's like little henchmen or whatever, right? The flower curse and everything, right? We've seen what they can do with each other when they're battling someone as strong as that. Just imagine seeing them just like constantly fighting with each other. That would go crazy. Man, they're making ping pong look just absolutely insane. Oh, dang, Toto kind of screwed up. He kind of screwed up with it because Mei was saying that the person that recommends a sorcerer, you know, for promotion and everything, they can't accompany them on their missions. So with Toto like wanting to be on a mission with Itadori and, you know, promoting him, it can't happen. They kind of screwed up. Toto kind of screwed up with that. Wow, he was so destroyed. His like he was up here. He was through the roof. His happiness was up here, thinking that like he's gonna be able to go on missions with Itadori and everything. And then once Mei told him the truth, boom, it just shot down. Wait, no, is she the one with? She's with Gato, right? There's something about her that's just so familiar. I think she's like part of Gato's like crew, right? Am I misremembering? Because it's been quite a while since I watched JJK, but like, I don't know, like she kind of looks familiar. Nah, her glow up went crazy though. Her glow up straight up went crazy. Okay, wait, no, like I'm like, okay, even though she's already talking about like her backstory, like, you know, she was in middle school with Itadori and everything, I'm pretty sure she's with Gate. Don't listen to me. I might be wrong on this, but for some reason she just looks so familiar to me. Oh, she's in love with Itadori. She's in love with him. Oh my gosh, why are they both kind of like the same when it comes to personality wise? Would you really say Fushiguro knows him well? Would he know him? Okay, I feel like they both, yeah, what am I talking about? they went through so much together. For sure, Itadori, Yuji, and not what? Why did I say Itadori, Yuji? Itadori, Fushiguro, and Nobara. They're tight. They're tight like this. She's lying. She's lying. She's lying. I know she's into Yuji. She's into him. She's just lying. Yeah, she's in love with him too. She's now realizing she's in love with him. So it's like that. Well, she just says blah blah blah. See, look at that. They all know each other very well to where like they can say just few words to each other and they can connect the dots instantly. Look at them just like sitting together talking about Yuji and everything, you know, trying to see if he has a girlfriend or not. It's kind of adorable. I'm pretty sure, yeah, tall girl, like someone like Jennifer Lawrence, right? So look at these two. They're just so similar to each other. I love it. Wow, he got there that fast. That's great. Like even for Yuji, that was insanely fast. Oh, does he? Oh, I thing is, I feel like Yuji would kind of know. I feel like he would kind of know on who she is. Oh, he does. I knew it. I knew it. He recognized it. Yuji is just that good. He knows people so well. He like, even though she had like a crazy glow up, he instantly knew wwho she was. You see, this is why you're single, my man. This is why you're single. Yuji, he seems like not to care about that. See that? Yeah, but the way she eats, her handwriting and stuff are really pretty. Yeah, he doesn't care about her appearance. He just, you know, likes the little things about her. Yo, you gotta go after him. You gotta go after Yuji. They didn't even exchange numbers. I mean, yeah, Nobara has it, but I mean, come on, like Yuji. Nah, they're gonna watch the movie together. This is, I like the little things. Like, yeah, I get like, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, all the action and fighting, all that. But these little things right here, I think that's why like it makes JJK a pretty solid series. Just these little moments where like everything's kind of just relaxed for all of them. You know, they're kind of just hanging out, you know, talking about, you know, Yuji if he's seeing anyone, you know, helping this girl connect with Yuji and everything. And then, you know, just like going to the movies, even though Nobara doesn't want to go, and most likely Fushiguro doesn't want to go, but you just kind of forcing them without forcing them to go watch this movie. I don't know. I just the little things about this series I absolutely like. She's gonna be watching over them while doing this. Could this be their mission that helps them get promoted to, what was it, semi first grade or first grade sorcerers? You know, because Mei and Toto can't, like, you know, watch over them or, you know, accompany them. So is Utahime, is she accompanying them? Is this their mission to get promoted? Finding out that person who's leaking intel? Are they suspecting it's Mechamaru? I mean, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense for Mechamaru to be the mole and everything, you know, because he's not actually there. So, and like, you know, he's using what, like his whole thing is using his energy to control this robot. So I mean, kind of makes sense to, you know, classify him as the mole. You know, me was so adorable. Are they going to see his real body? Oh, we're gonna be seeing the real Mechamaru. Oh, that's crazy. That's true. If his power is able to, like, you know, go through all of Japan, yeah, he can have puppets that are unregistered that can easily leak information out to Gato. He knew they were coming. He knew they were coming. It was a trick. He tricked them. So Mechamaru is the mole. If he's tricking them like that, yeah. Oh, it's true. Gato and Mahito. Oh no, Mechamaru is working with them. In exchange for what though? Oh, I can see why he wants to do this then. You know, giving them information in exchange that Mahito fixes his body or, you know, creates him a new body. Makes sense, but still, damn. So after fixing him, they're just gonna kill him either way. So is there really a point to like going to fix him? So there's a penalty if like Mahito or like Gato were to, like, you know, kind of like double cross him. Yo, so he's completely fixed now. So I wonder if this ends up making him even a bigger threat now that he can actually be mobile on his own. He can still control his puppets from anywhere. But now he's just like, you know, he's not stationary. Are they gonna square up with each other? Okay, that was kind of sick. He's gonna square up with Mahito. Now, we all hate Mahito, right? We all hate him. But I don't see this guy beating him. Like, nearly, like, well, what? Like, he's not gonna beat him because Yuji and Nanami, like, they're extremely strong. They nearly beat him, but in the end, like, he managed to get away. Oh, was that just all a ploy? Oh, he played him. He still played him. Yo, that was nice. That was nice. So the fight's not over. It's not over yet. Oh, he got a Gundam. He got a Gundam. Yo, that's kind of crazy. The fact that he can make something like this is insane. Oh, so that's why they're fighting, you know, because he's gonna give up information to Gojo now and let him know what they're planning. Yeah, because he knows Mechamaru can't beat Mahito, so he knows that's why he's not like worried or anything. He has data on everyone. He's seen all the fights, so now he can like come up with like, you know, a plan to potentially beat Mahito. Is he in love with Miwa? Is he in love with her? Oh, that looked good. That looked good. But would it be enough? This is Mahito we're talking about. Would that even be enough to take him out? I have no clue. It's gonna be good. This is gonna be actually a good fight. I thought Mahito was just gonna wipe the floor with him, but it seems like it might actually be a pretty solid fight. So episode starts off with this girl from, you know, Yuji's middle school showing up to Nobara and was like, hey, do you know, like, are you friends with Yuji? And then, you know, they got to talking and everything, and it turns out that she has feelings for him, that she likes him. And then we get a little backflash to when they were in middle school. You know, Yuji and like two other guys in his class were talking about like, oh, which girls in the class do you like? And he was just like, he named her, and they were confused. They were like, why her? Like, you know, she's, you know, kind of large and everything. Why her? And then, you know, that's not really like, aren't you into girls with, what was it, like a big butt and tall girls? And he was like, oh, that's completely different. But yeah, like the fact that she's into him is kind of nice, right? That's kind of nice. And then we had that moment with Fushiguro and Nobara talking about this, and, you know, she's introducing Fushiguro to this girl, and she's like, oh, you know, she's kind of like blah, blah, blah and everything. Instantly, Fushiguro knew what she was talking about. And they just started talking about Yuji and like, oh, does he have a girlfriend? And he's like, no, he doesn't. You know, like when he was forced to like transfer here, he wasn't bummed about it or anything. So yeah, most likely he doesn't have a girlfriend. Yuji shows up to that restaurant they were at and instantly remembered her. Even though she had a crazy glow up, he instantly knew who she was, which is pretty crazy because, yeah, she had a substantial glow up. It was actually wild. But again, she looks familiar to me. Like, I'm getting the feeling like you could tell me in the comments that like she is part of like Gato's group and everything or not, but like she looks so familiar. And then the episode continues on with Fushiguro, Yuji, and Nobara meeting Utahime because they're going to look for the mole that, you know, gave out information to Gato, you know, when they were doing their whole like festival type of thing, right? And they know that they, you know, Otime is telling them like, okay, there's someone higher up than the principal's rank that we can't go after right now because, you know, I think, what was it? She either didn't know who it was or they just weren't strong enough to go after him yet. And then there was another mole that they could go after. And we find out that this mole was Mechamaru or Kokichi Muta. So you had like, you know, Yuji's group, you know, going after Muta and it's like thinking like, oh, they got him cornered and everything. And it looked like they did because, you know, he reacted. He was like, oh, looks like they're here. But then no, it ended up being, they ended up being in a different place altogether. And instead, Muta was talking about Mahito and Gato. Why did I say that so weird? I don't know why, but that's how it is. And so it was true that, you know, Kokichi, right? Kokichi was the mole. He was providing them information in return that Mahito fixes his body, which he does. But then Mahito starts squaring up with Kokichi. Looked like Kokichi wasn't gonna, be tough for Mahito to beat. But then he shows, like, he blows up that room and shows off this giant Mechamaru that he created, which, you know, yeah, I just call it a Gundam because it kind of is just a Gundam. And so now this fight becomes a little bit more interesting because Mechamaru was, you know, watching all the fights that, you know, he's been able to watch. You know, he even saw the fight with Mahito and Yuji and Nanami. And he's like, it seems like, you know, because he's been watching these fights, because he's been stationary for so long, it seems like he might have a good shot at potentially beating Mahito, especially for the fact that for fuel or for like energy, he's using all that time that he was stationary. So, you know, we saw that it was like 17 years or something. And then once he unleashed that final blast, it dropped down to 16 years. So it means Kokichi was sending, you know, a year's worth of cursed energy, you know, to Mahito, and it seems like that could potentially do some pretty big damage. And also on the topic of, you know, this episode kind of being like a little love type of thing, you know, with that girl Okizawa, right, and Yuji. Then we have this whole thing with Kokichi and Miwa. You know, he has a thing for Miwa, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I kind of dig that. The episode started with, you know, Todo and Mei talking to the principal, you know, recommending, you know, 6 people. Was it 6? Yuji, Fushiguro, Nobara, Panda, Mai, and oh my god, Inumaki, right, promoting them to being first grade sorcerers. And you know, that's where the season 1 left off, and that's where, you know, it kind of starts off. We finally, you know, get a little bit more with that conversation. So yeah, talking about promoting these 6 students to becoming first grade sorcerers. Mei and Todo have this like epic ping pong match, and you know, Todo was so excited because like he was like, oh, I can go on missions with my best friend or my brother, you know, Yuji Itadori. And then Mei drops the truth on him, is like, actually, because you and me both ended up recommending Yuji, neither of us can actually, you know, accompany him on this mission, on a mission for him to become a first grade sorcerer. And that just broke his heart. He was so destroyed after that. He didn't even want to play ping pong anymore. Mei just ended up destroying him in that ping pong match because he was just so destroyed about that. But yeah, crazy episode. Crazy episode, finding out, you know, that Mechamaru, or, you know, Kokichi, Muta, was the mole this entire time, and then seeing him fight against Mahito. Crazy. Just crazy. This episode was so crazy. I got nothing else to say, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for my other reactions, also for my discussion videos. So if you're into any of those, definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, you know the whole thing. So with all that being said, again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, see ya.